This is what I told everybody. See, this town is the town that slaves people and exploits everybody in camera eyes and speakers and microphones. And I told all of those people. All those people heard. I'll just blackmail by smoking weed. And then I don't have to worry about that. What are you going to show my parents? They're just like me. What are you going to shove it in their face? How I smoked weed? That won't mean anything to them. You going to shove in my ex-wife's face? How I smoke weed? That won't mean anything. You going to shove in my little boy's face? How I smoke weed? Hey, witch. That won't mean anything. And that because I've avoided all the things that silence everybody about this stuff, nobody. Nobody can compete with me. My corporate advantage is not being blackmailed. I took that and I built it into a multi-million-dollar company because basically everybody's company has like hackers and shit that all it would take is for me to like knock on their door and go, you're being exploited in camera eyes and speakers and microphones. And here's what all that stuff is. Hire me for multi-million-dollar contracts to fix your corporate law liabilities in your company. And that is what it is. This stuff at Amazon. Let's go. Hey, Amazon. You notice that you guys knew that stuff already? And then you guys got it outfitted with loans. Loans that I didn't pay for. Now you people are all fucking slaves. But that's different. A lot of what people need is a direct person going, you have camera eyes, you have microphones, you have speakers. And that stuff's being exploited. And that you don't realize that hackers across the world access a low volume aspect to that stuff and do an internal dialogue. See, thinking is clear. There's no internal, see, all this stuff from psychology about internal dialogue and shit. No. I did sociology. I'm a genius. My greatest thoughts come from no thought internally. I don't listen to little internal dialogues. Clear, my geniusness comes from no thought. No internal audio that ever makes lo-fi. I don't hear my thoughts. I hear clear. Clear. Nothing. I don't hear geniusness. Geniusness in me comes from no thoughts, no internal dialogue. I don't have an internal dialogue. You want to know what my internal dialogue is? Nothing. Clear. Free thought. And that nobody in the world see, this is what I know about my corporate advantage. Everybody else probably has speakers. And that if they informed slaves or whatever, victims, they would get tortured in speakers. And that I could walk right up to those people and go, somebody illegally put all that stuff in your speakers. And this corporation that you work for is attempting to isolate that stuff and to be helping you with that stuff. And you see how law department, look at, because law department has dumb speakers and they're blackmailed. They get sound torture in their own speakers, and this is where I'm so free that even with a pair of hearing aids for my sleep education, this is where I'm gonna destroy you people and get in my way, because that's why I get hearing aids. Sleep education. You guys are getting in the way of my lemon science out of Hanford. Scientists, they brainwash themselves into being geniuses to be me. Because that shit works on me. And they all like that. But you people are all getting in the way of that shit. And now, I do econ. I have a corporation that will deprogram and tell people directly to their face without the repercussions that everybody else would have. You know what happens in the town that has the highest PhD per capita? Everybody's dumb here. And the PhD per capita group, I don't have one, but I'm smarter than all of them. You know what happens when you sit around with a pair of hearing aids, listening to the smartest scientific people ever created? You become smarter than them. It's kind of like my bubble verse stuff. See, in DOE, there's this white sands world that has like somebody that rejected it. It's like scientific theory about like multiverse. The science community rejected that. Around here, that's the dumbest thing ever. That dude's pretty smart. And then Dr. Manhattan was like, least and most. Everybody else was dumb. And things go dumb. Least and most. We're just one big bubble. Inside of the bubble verse. We have an expanded bubble. And that if you were to go into the bubble of somewhere else, it would expand out in a consciousness way. And that person that came up with that theory, foam on a sea. And that when you associate things that happen in nature, then it becomes a reality of like consciousness And you people are too stupid to understand anything that I ever do. Everything is simple to me. Even that guy will view me as a super genius above him. Everything is simple. I minimize everything. Because I'm Dr. Manhattan. Have you people seen The Watchmen? See how Dr. Manhattan molds space and time? Everything that geniuses do is simple for me to understand. But everybody else is a retard. When I find super geniuses, I don't minimize them. I attempt to make what they're doing a minimization because everything's smart. It's very simple. Easy. In that I attempt to build people into people that understand the smartest things. Because the truth of reality is very simple. Multiverse. And I'll destroy all of you based on me fishing as a homeless guy and getting a job on a fishing boat, finding tunas in Oregon and seeing foam. I saw foam on the plane of the multiverse. Foam that sits across the sea. The universe is the sea. And the foam are a bunch of bubbles that are the multiverse. And that the moment that you transfer into one of those bubbles is when it expands in consciousness into a universe. Each one. It's like those. It's like that movie, that TV show. And there's like a TV show where everybody went to different universes or something. It's like that. The moment that you go to a different bubble is where it expands into our universe. It's the most simplest thing for me to comprehend in every single way. That's because I have a Holy Spirit. God gave me a Holy Spirit. There was one bubble that God noticed having the potential for a future of a person like me. God created me. And he created all of those other bubbles, but everybody else is a dumb animal. And I'm. See, the Jews put a yarmulke so their brain won't be, like, engulfed by God. God. The reason God exists in our universe is because of a person like me. Everything that you people think, I will never do anything horrible. I will never do anything horrible to anyone. And that is why our universe exists. And God, the great design, knew that this bubble in the multiverse wouldn't have human beings that are intelligent enough to understand everything complex about the geniusness of everything, a beautifulness. You see, everything I do, I don't give a fuck about anything except for my woman and my child. And that is where God made a multiverse and one bubble made a man that doesn't care about anything in the world except love. And that is what I learned from being baptized in the Church of Christ, in that you could be a Jew, you could be an Islamic person, you could be a Buddhist in a one God way. And that is all God. It's concise. You guys want to know the great question? God is concise. It's like how these Christians talk about everybody's given, even if they're Buddhist or something, they're given a chance in their life to choose God or something, and then they're saved or something. Here is what that is. When I heard that from a Holy Spirit, see, I listen to people of the Holy Spirit. Don't discount that. This is what I wanted the scientists at NASA and that are atheists to realize. Einstein, Newton, they had a Holy Spirit. And that the thing that inhibits people in the mind is a lack of a Holy Spirit that makes people human. There's animals, and then there's animals that have a Holy Spirit. And the Jews, you see how smart those fucking people are? They have some serious Holy Spirit. They really do. And you see how those Islamic people have a serious Holy Spirit. And you see, the man, I know what chess master of smart is. And then I know where I am. I know that more than anybody in the world. Just remember, don't miss out on the mind-expanding aspects. It's like Dune. Watch Dune. Mind-expanding. The movie Dune. You see how the people that understand spirituality, I told those people that I didn't have one. Because I have my own version. Nobody understands God gave me a spirituality of a Holy Spirit that understands everything in the universe. That, basically. Everybody else, I don't believe in what they think. I don't believe in the establishment spirituality. I have my own thoughts. I wait for intuitiveness, for clairvoyance, all the things that everybody doesn't do in their life. Clairvoyance, intuitiveness, the most super geniusness comes from that. Einstein, Newton, clairvoyance, intuitiveness. Don't discount that. Don't suppress that. Encourage that. Think different. And that Apple Corporation, those people are dumb. The things that I say right now, the way that Apple Corporation operates, the shit that I just said right now will become everything that their Lumen Corporation will ever be. And that is what I know. Because I'm like as smart as Stephen Hawking. Just remember. Well, I got this spot here, but my baldness, now that I'm 40, I'm not afraid of that. And look at this spot. Still at 40. Everybody else in my family had this at 18 years old. My brother, my cousin. And you see, I'm 40 now. What they had at like 18. I do genetics. And then there's a scientific reasoning for my placation to baldiness. You see? There's somebody at like 18 or 20 or whatever that literally could look just like me. I have a super genetics and I'm a super genius and I'm 40 years old. And that everybody else in my family went bald very early. And I placated that don't discount science. Most people are too stupid. Why? Why does one boy, who should be like the rest of the boys, finally go bald at 4 years old? Why is that? Who's the super genetic? Who's the like evolutionary like person. Everybody in my family goes bald. Every dude. My son. He'll be bald. He will. He looks just like me. And he'll be bald. That's how important it is life. He will be. But what is it that had me? Because you see, you see this spot? That's where I still have hair at 40 years old. Here's science. Yeah, I like to bring this up. Okay. This, my cousin and my brother and shit, this doesn't exist. And here I am, 40 years old, with this. It's like, basically people that go bald at like 18 to 20 years old. And so, and then, here's this spot. And here I am, 40 years old, going through puberty, basically. No. Then my ex-wife, the whole idea is that I look this stuff. All this stuff. You see how I still can't grow a whole beard? And you see how I look young? It's like my puberty is like old. Like it'll take another 10 years for me to grow a full beard. And then I'm a super genius that does science on myself. Like, what I noticed about my own wife is that she seems to do a slow puberty. And it's like, my theoretical theory is that she will eventually grow boobs as like an older woman. She'll eventually, because she was flat chested as fuck, like a chick. I call myself a wizard. A wizard doesn't age. And a witch, a true witch, doesn't age. And she doesn't age. And I don't age. It's like, all I gotta do. You see? No crow's feet. No aging. No crow's feet. The aging stuff. Nothing. I'm 40 years old. I should have like wrinkles here. You see? How I'm like, I could shave this face off. I could put a hat on. How old do I look? No crow's feet. No wrinkles. I don't ever age. In a visual way. Why is that? You see my face? You could easily like classify me as like 27 or something. You really could. I'm 40 years old. I've seen my friends, they're all 40 years old. And then I look at myself. You guys want to know what genius, genetic, you see? Yeah, I'm about to be in puberty. I'm 18. Like my brother. This was him at 18. And here is me at 40 years old, basically being what he is. Why is that? Why is that? You see, I was still there. Everybody else in my family is like clean. It's like clean. You see? Right here. At 40 years old, I still have hair where everybody else in my family went bald at like 16 or something. And that at 18, this would be like them. And then I'm the only one. You see, I'm a super genius. Everybody else isn't. You see, I'm 40 years old. I'm finally having the same hairline as them. And you see, that. You see how my genetics is an evolutionary like idea? Because I still had hair. And I'm a super genius. And they're not. It's nothing against them. But like, you see how in genetics I have a evolutionary like prominence to my genetics. You see? I already know. Just based on myself. Because I already knew that I was a super genius. I spooge. And you see, man that fucks witch is this. Testosterone makes this. Testosterone makes man that fucks witch. And you see that I'm an example of like a person that goes bald that has high testosterone, but I'm able to placate that as a genetic specimen. You guys want to do science? And so I placated the testosterone aspects. Every single woman that does genetics knows, man, that fucks witch. There's lots of women in genetics and scientists and shit. And then that a man that has lots of testosterone. But you see how I'm 40? You see how I still have hair there at 40. In evolution, I'm the specimen. And that like I do genetics science on procreation. I really do. And then I attempt to get people to quantify, like, sure, going bald, the children that go bald later have the same fuck witch, and that I'm just a child that went bald later in life, and I fuck witch. Just like the people that fuck witch that go bald early, and then the ones that go bald later are geniuses. And then that, or you can build them into geniuses, or that's what it is. You see this at 40, everybody else is like fucking completely like bald in my family, like clean. And you see, even my father, he still, to this very day, still has hair. Here's like a observation of all of this research, because I do research on this. Some people, the smartest people, still have hair on top of their bald head. And that's what it is. You see this patch right here? It's like this. The smartest people, this could be an indicator of geniusness. It really could. Because everybody knows the smartest Jews and the smartest British people have a bald head. They do. The smartest British people are like me. They are. It just is. It's just no. It's nobody likes to admit, okay? The smartest people are bald. If you find a lawyer that has a head like me, he'll be smarter than all the other lawyers. If you find a doctor that has a head like me, that's a Jew, they'll be smarter than everybody else. If you find a politician that's a Jew that has a head like me, they'll be smarter than everybody. Same teachers that are a Jew that have a head like me, they'll be smarter than everybody. Religion's a little different, but even in art, the Jews that have a head like me or have the most beautiful emotion, pathos art ever. You see, you people are dumb. And I'm a genius. And I know everything about everything. You see how even in genetics, I know. And you see what I have? Now, this is where the people that analyze in a genius way at genetics, that is what this video is for. This is for geniuses at genetics. You see? You see how I have like weird, broad eyebrows? Most people have like very defined, like, you know, everybody would pluck these out. You see how these are like broad? You see this at an older age, I'm still got some. And you see how I still can't grow a full beard? And you see how I'm a super genius? This is what evolutionary human is. we need hair for?